How to teach your dog to stop biting the leash. Step 1. Teach your dog to enjoy wearing their collar. Click on the link to see how to teach your dog to enjoy wearing their collar. This is an important step because adding pressure to the neck via the leash can make your dog dislike having the leash on and cause them to bite it. Step 2. No biting. Begin by clicking the dog for not interacting with the leash. Use a low level of distraction by simply holding it up. Once the dog is happy not interacting, begin moving it around in increasingly distracting ways and rewarding the dog for not reacting. If at any point they react and bite, wait until they stop and click. Think of what normally makes them bite the leash in everyday situations and set your training up like that. I know that Ffion, the puppy in the video, is more tempted to bite the leash when it trails on the floor, so I am building up to teach her not to bite it in that situation. Step 3. Touching the collar. Your dog needs to get used to pressure being applied to their collar, whether this is you holding onto it to clip the leash on, or whether you're on a walk and changing direction. Click for your hand approaching the collar but not touching it. Once your dog is happy with this, increase the distance you stretch out your arm until you can touch the collar. Gently move the collar around their neck, pull gently to the sides, approach them from different angles, and generally get them comfortable with your hands approaching. Click on the link for my positive handling video if your dog is not comfortable with your hands approaching them. If your dog shows discomfort in what you're doing, take it back a step and build it up so they feel more comfortable. Step 4. Clipping on the leash. Repeat the last step with the leash now in your hand. This addition may make your dog uncomfortable or excited, so you may have to repeat the other steps again so the dog doesn't feel like they have to bite the leash when it's being clipped on. Remember to give lots of fuss and treats when you clip it on to let them know it's a good thing. When it comes to taking off the leash, some dogs will revert to old ways and bite the leash or warn off the hands that are approaching. Simply repeat the steps of your hand approaching them from far away and build it up so you can touch the collar, then unclip the leash. Treat and fuss them once the leash is off as well. You can see here that Ffion is not happy with my hands approaching to take the leash off, so I go back and repeat the stages. She quickly remembers the lessons and I'm able to take the leash off without any biting or upsetting her. After a bit of training, Ffion is getting happier about my hands approaching, but you can see that she still goes to bite the leash. So I wait until she finishes and then clip it on. If she were to get upset again, I'd go back a stage and build it up.
Oh, you do cuckoo. Oh, you do cuckoo. Clever girl, clever girl, clever girl. Yes, you are very clever. You're very clever.
Step 5. Add pressure. Don't rush the last step, because if you try to add pressure whilst the dog is still not completely happy with the leash and collar, you may end up making things worse. Once your dog is happy, clip on the leash and gently pull to the sides and wave the leash around. You can see here that it's getting quite tangled. This is something that happens a lot when you first begin walking a dog on a leash, so use it to train. Whilst your dog is being tangled and untangled, click and treat as long as they don't bite the leash. Also, click them for not biting the leash when it's being waved around. Remember to practice this standing up, in different positions, in the house, in the garden, and eventually outside. The more you practice, the more your dog will generalize that it's not okay to bite the leash, and it's more rewarding to not bite the leash.